Hi everyone, it's Holly. Welcome back to my channel. Happy New Year! I'm so glad to have you join me today. I hope your new year is off to a really great start. And if it's your first time on my channel, welcome also. I'd love for you to join my community by clicking the subscribe button below. Today's video is going to be about how to help you achieve your goals. And I'm sure, like many people, you've already begun to think about your resolutions, or what goals that you have for this next year. And so, you're resolving to do some things different. You're wanting to put some effort into doing things a little bit differently. And so I'm here to help you put some action toward those goals so that you can achieve them and have the successful year that you hope to. You may ask yourself, my resolutions are made, my goals are set now, what do I do? How do I achieve them? How do I put them into action? And that's what today's video is about. So let's jump right on into some of these tips that I have for you today. The first thing that you want to do is believe that you actually can achieve your goal. I want you to visualize yourself actually doing your goal and achieving it and having success in it. And this first thing about believing that you can achieve your goal is so important. And as you will see, the tips that follow really complement one another to help you go back to the first tip, which is believing that you can achieve. So the next thing you want to do, if you haven't already done so, is take those ideas out of your mind and put them on paper. You want to take your resolutions, take your goals, and jot them down. Put them on the paper so they could be right before you. When you're doing this, you want to make sure that these are goals that you have written in a way that are very specific to you, unique to you. They're your own goals. When you do this and you've written them down and they're right before you, and you know there's a time frame, it really builds your confidence that you can actually achieve your goals. Now, after you've written these goals down, you want to go ahead and categorize these goals. Categorizing the goals is really important because sometimes we may have just a handful of goals. Sometimes we may have a long list of goals, but it helps you identify the area that you want to focus on the most in your life right now. So, for example, some categories you may consider are areas such as family, finances, career, social, intellectual, fitness, health. So those are some different categories that you may want to consider when you're categorizing them. Now, once they're all categorized, you're going to want to prioritize your goals. Prioritizing your goals is going to help you focus in and hone in on the ones that are most important right now. It's not saying that you're going to throw the other ones and toss them aside and not remember or get to them this year, but it's going to help you get started out on a right foot. That way you can begin to see some small victories early on in the year that can be motivational to keep you moving forward to achieving your other goals. When you're prioritizing your goals, you're going to pick those one or two, maybe top three things that you want to get started on immediately. And what I recommend you doing is once you've identified those, you want to work those goals for 21 days, 30 days, 90 days, whichever average you feel like it's, or how much ever time you feel like it's going to take for you for those goals to become natural for you or easy for you to do, for you to not have to think about. So for example, if your goal is to begin to rise earlier in the morning, and so that is very, very important to you, it's one of your top priorities, and you're going to begin to start doing that goal. Then say you're rising at 6 a.m. in the morning, and maybe in the beginning it's really hard for you to do so. But as a week goes by, it becomes to get easier. As another week comes by, it becomes even more easier. And before you know it, it's like clockwork. You're just getting up and waking up at 6 o'clock, just like it was nothing, and you're already walking and achieving and having success in that goal. While you're doing that, you continue to have success in that goal. Don't stop doing it, but go back to your prioritization list and see what's next. You may have already started working on the second goal, but you may not be there yet. So go ahead and pick up goal number 3, goal number 4, and begin to implement those. You can do this in a variety of ways, whether it's within a couple of weeks or not, or you can prioritize your goals into quarters or maybe semi-annually. You know, especially when you're writing them and you're putting that time frame on your goals, you know that, okay, I may be able to realistically be able to achieve this goal within the first 3 weeks, or within 3 months, or within 6 months. Ultimately, our goal is to have them achieved by the end of the year, of course, but you may be able to get a really good start on them, or to actually achieve them earlier by breaking down and prioritizing your goals into some different time frames, or using those categories. Maybe you want to focus on a category at a time, and maybe your priority is a category of family. Maybe your priority is a category of health, and so you begin to break down those goals in that way so that you can focus on those and then continue to build on. When you believe you can achieve your goals, when you write them down, when you categorize them and prioritize them, these types of steps lead to focused achievement of your goal. Now, the next thing is affirming yourself. This is affirmations. Many of you may have heard about them before, but this is you reading your goals out loud to yourself. Pick up your goal list that you wrote out and begin to read out loud in the first person narrative. You know, maybe my goal was getting up at 6 a.m. because not only I wanted to start rising early to have more time, but it was for a fitness. And so maybe my goal is waking up at 6 a.m. so that I can go walking 3 times a week on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So if I'm going to write that in a way where I can read it daily to affirm myself, which is going to build me up to continue to believe that I can achieve my goal, I would say, I wake up every morning at 6 a.m. and I go for a 30-minute walk on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And so you begin to confess, you begin to proclaim, you begin to declare, you begin to affirm your goal. And as you do that, you begin to hear yourself doing that, and that really builds your belief that you can achieve that goal that you've set for yourself. When you do this, it really builds your confidence and is a motivating factor to keep you moving towards and striving towards achieving your goal. Now, the next thing is very important. It is actually starting your goal. It is doing your goal. You have to do your goal if you believe that you can achieve your goal. So this is doing what you have written down that you are going to do. So start doing it. Get up early. If it's eating clean, make sure that you are buying those healthy, whole foods and keeping them in your house. Those are just a few examples for me to throw out there, but I'm sure that you get the point at this point. Start doing your goal because you can do it. You definitely can do it. The next thing is equally important, especially once you start doing it, to help you continue to move forward and remain successful. So the next tip is to plan for obstacles. So once you begin doing your goal, you want to be prepared for obstacles. How many of us have encountered starting something new, all for something to start working against us from being able to accomplish that? Back to the example of rising early to go walking in the mornings. What are you going to do when it's pouring down rain? Be prepared. Already have a plan in place. Know what your options are going to be. Are you going to make up that day? What about if you're not feeling well physically? What are you going to do? Do you just continue the next day that you're feeling well to get back on track? Do you wait for the next scheduled day if you're feeling better? So have a plan in place. You can be ready and prepared for any obstacle that may try to come in and work against you achieving your goals. Just know a plan, have a plan so you can get right back on track so that you can't be derailed from achieving your goal. And you won't be tempted to quit because of whatever it is that's trying to work against you. My next and last tip is accountability. It's so important to have accountability. When we have someone that we love and that we trust holding us accountable, it really is a motivating factor. And you want to find someone that you trust, someone that is a little tough on you, someone that'll give you a little tough love to make sure that you're staying on course, and set it up where you could check in with them every 2 weeks or as often as you would need to stay on track and to stay focused. when we receive support from the people we know, we love, and we trust, it really is a motivation. So all these tips really, if you think about it, combine together, they complement one another, and they go back into supporting you to believe that you can achieve your goal. So that concludes my tips for today, but I do have a few more things for you to walk away with. Remember, achieving these goals is all about you becoming the best you. The steps that I've shared today will help keep you from becoming overwhelmed and will help you achieve your goals. You'll look back this time next year and realize that you've grown and that you've achieved your goals and become the person that you've wanted to be. Remember, if you get off track, get back on track. It's not failure to refocus and start again. Thanks so much for watching my video today, you guys. I hope you found today's tips very helpful. I'd love to hear from you about your goals this year. And if you found this video helpful today, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Bye.